Ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday afternoon, evening, night, wherever you're deciding to live at this moment in time, and welcome back to WCS America, the round of 8, third match of the evening, or the afternoon again, wherever you decide to live. A match between Snute and Revival. Revival currently up 2-1. Looking pretty good.
Indeed, very, very convincing win in that last game. Of course, it was kind of like a build order thing, but it's important to note that there's a couple things Snute didn't do that can really help prevent that type of rush. And the biggest one is just having an overlord in front of your opponent's base. 10 extra seconds that it takes for the speeds across the map is huge as far as being able to prepare for that attack.
Map number 4 will be on Belshire Vestige. This is a very important game indeed. This could be the last one of this best of 5. In the top left-hand location, I present your Red Zerg player representing Team Liquid and hailing from Norway. Must win 2 in a row here to advance to the next round. He is Snute. His opponent in the bottom right-hand location, your Blue Zerg player representing Team Evil Geniuses. He is 1 win away from getting himself $7,000, getting some WCS points, and booking a ticket to Korea for the World Finals of Season 1 WCS. He is Revival.
Revival's EG teammates have to be cheering him on. Of course, his fellow EG player, Alive, is going to be playing it next against Crank.
Yes.
And the winner of that will actually play the winner of this match tomorrow in the semifinals.
Semifinals and finals will be tomorrow. Of course, guys, get involved with the local scene. Maybe attend a STARCRAFT. I know there's one going on in California. There's one in New York City tomorrow at Legends. So you New Yorkers better be there. Of course, be sure to tweet, get on Reddit, get on Team Liquid, have a conversation about what's going on, join that Twitch chat, and if you hashtag WCS on Twitter, your tweet might be featured on stream. Let us know who you want to win. Of course, you can tweet at us. I am at AxelToss. Of course, Nick is at ISAxLav. Very important game we got here. Let's see how they change up their styles, if they decide to.
Revival's going back to that hatchery first gas pool build
that
he's really been enjoying to use. And it's interesting because he gets the gas before the pool. In a way you could say, what if his opponent goes early Zerglings, he's going to be in trouble delaying the pool that much. But that's why the first overlord is so important. In that if his overlord can see Zerglings crossing the map, he can know not to get that gas. Of course, a player could be tricky, and if they can anticipate the route of that overlord, they can try to sneak around it. So there are a lot of advanced play when dealing with early type of Zergling play, but Snute being down 1-2, doesn't really want to risk it on any type of aggressive Zergling play. Snute's a player who doesn't really use those strategies very often.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Snute, I'm making sure I stay on top of my scouting. I stick with my, the play I know, the play I've been practicing, but the reason he lost last game is he just wasn't on top of his scouting. He didn't have that overlord outside of his opponent's natural expansion, and it's not something that like, oh, it was a long game, he completely outplayed me. It's something that can just happen. It's happened to all of us basically, where the snap of your fingers, you're gonna lose the game. So don't count Snute out.
I love this decision where he makes 2 Zerglings. Of course, last game he didn't. If you make 2 Zerglings, you can almost always spot out that opposing mass speeding Nolan, just because you can run around their base and see if they have drones or not, right? And that's going to tell you exactly what they're up to. And that's what he's doing right now, sending these Zerglings into the main of Revival. He's going to be able to spot that Evolution Chamber.
Or will he? Slowly trying to make his way. Yes, barely spots it. The drone's trying to hide that. Well, he saw the building. Do you think he was able to click on it right away?
That's a very good question.
I don't know. I mean, what else could it be, kind of a thing? But, I mean, Roachhorn, I guess. Baneley Nest.
It would be pretty rare to have a Roachhorn this early.
Yeah.
Because the way it works in Roaches versus Speedlings, for those of you guys who want to know about how unit dynamics work, in low numbers, Speedlings will beat Roaches pretty soundly in equal cost. So
the low Roaches, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because they can get the full service area and surround it and be very cost efficient. So if you're going to see people be aggressive in ZVZ with a small group of Roaches early game, they're going to have to accompany them with Banelings. And this point of the game, it would be a little bit too early to afford both Roaches and Banelings and get that type of timing attack working. So he can assume it's either a Bane Nest or an Evo Chamber if he wasn't able to click on it. And second Evo coming up from Revival, very upgrade focused here.
This is kind of what Snute was doing in his round of 16 matches.
Yes, against ST.
Yeah. So maybe Revival's looking at it like, you know what, that's kind of good. I'm going to try that out.
And I think he actually wanted to do this on Cloud Kingdom as well.
Yes.
It seemed the way he did the build. So now he's going for those speeding upgrades, a fast third base as well. Snute doing the, I was going to say similar build to what he's been doing, but he's actually mixing it up a bit. Before he would get one Evo and a Roach Horn. This game, maybe he's doing things differently. No Evo Chambers from Snute.
It's worth noting at the National, he almost added 2 Evos, but then canceled them.
I wonder if that's...
Wanted to get the third first.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a different thing. So now he's adding double Evos. He's going to go for upgraded Roach play on 3 bases. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Snute to defend his third base. Because Revival is going to have +1 armor speedlings. And Snute, I mean, yes, he could send some Roaches out there, but remember, again, in small numbers, speedlings do very well against Roaches. If Snute tries to use his own Zerglings to defend, they're going to be out-upgraded, which is very significant in Zergling versus Zergling.
And Snute doesn't even have speed on his Zergling. So, Speedling versus Zergling is going to be dramatically more difficult. Since that is the case, Revival, 1-1 is about to finish out those links. I think it's going to be very difficult for Snute to hold this third.
He's trying to make Roaches. The question is, will the Roaches get out in time? I'm not so sure. Revival now engaging. He has the armor advantage.
Oh, a Roach coming forward here, though. A singular Roach, and Revival going to back away for now. And that might give enough time here to Snute. Now, he needs to make sure no run-bys happen into his natural, into his main, because that could be potentially disastrous. So, look out for him to make sure he's on top of that.
Oh, the creeps. He's going to see the Zerglings. Is there time to make a block? Drones.
He's going to try to hold position the drones, but no, the Ling's going to spew on by going straight into the main base. Keep in mind, Revival can use reinforcements to potentially deny the third of his opponent. Really cool play here from Revival. Snute evacuating the drones into his natural expansion, sending some Lings to that third base to try to harass that, and let's see what he focuses down. He's focusing down the layer at this point, and now Snute is tasked with defending not only his main and his third, but with only slow Lings and Roaches.
It's Revival with a massive mobility advantage there. That run-by is so difficult to stop, and he tried to take 3 bases without speedings against a opponent who does have speedings. He's trying to clean up the speedings in between his main and natural, but his third hatchery is very low. A Transfuse goes down to try to keep alive for a little bit longer.
Queen gets taken out. He has to keep that alive. This is such a tricky situation unless he just shoves across the map with nothing but Roaches right when this finishes, but then he's vulnerable to the counterattack. So a very tricky situation here for Snute. The hatchery at the third getting very, very low in health, and that is going to get taken out. Meanwhile, Revival has a third base of his own. Now, he has been making a lot of links, so he's at 44 Harvesters, but still more Harvesters than his opponent. But Snute needs to retake that third right away and make sure he has some Roaches to escort that drone.
This is going to be very, very difficult for Snute. I mean, I don't think he can actually go for an attack. This is a situation where some players will actually throw down a Baning Nest and go for a Roach Baning Hole, and knowing, okay, my opponent's going to commit this much to speedlings. A few Banings can really help out the Roaches. Even though, of course, with the upgrades, Banings don't one-shot speedlings, but you bring them all down to 1 life, and the Roaches will make faster work of them.
I also love how Revival has 2 armies of Zerglings, one on the left-hand side, one on the right-hand side, just watching where his opponent decides to go. Perhaps going to try to distract at his opponent's third base. Exactly what's going to happen here. Ling's coming in, taking down the drone, and we'll have to see how Snute reacts. He's just sending his Roaches across the map here.
He's full walling in at its natural. He's going to try to make a defense here. It's important to note that Revival actually has less drones than Snute. He's really been focusing mostly on speeding production, but look at this surround.
Oh, a big surround onto these Roaches of Snute. Sure, 1-1 is done, but this is so many speedlings, and even more coming forward here from Revival to reinforce. 16 more Roaches on the way also from Revival, so mixing in the Roaches as well, eventually playing very safe indeed, and Snute gets cleaned up in the middle of the map. Revival up 116 to 72 supply.
He's going to go again to try to attack the natural. If Snute walls in, he may just go for third base. Snute walls in further back, but the Zerglings just run around a wall, get right into the drone line.
Disastrous moment here for Snute, but Revival has to be fist pumping right now, sending a bunch of speedlings into his opponent's main base. There's still no third here from Snute, and Revival has complete control of the map and of this game. Going after those drones, some Roaches scurrying back here from Snute, but losing so many workers. 41 workers killed. Harvesters is 54 to 37. In favor of Revival, and again, he has 3 bases. Snute only has 2. Snute desperately trying to hold on.
Revival almost with 2-2 on the speedings, now even starting to upgrade the Roach range attack as well. He's amassed a huge force of Roaches, now with Roach speed of his own. Yes, he's going to be a tiny bit behind in roach upgrades, but with the massive advantage he has in economy, he can so outproduce Snute.
So many roaches going across the map here. He's up to 33 roaches to his opponent's 20. Revival can sense a victory. He can taste it. He can smell it. And he's going to try to clinch it right now. He's about a 50 supply advantage over his opponent. He's up 2-1. He's 1 win away from advancing to the round of 8. And he's going to try to make it happen right now. Snute desperately going to try to hold. Has some roaches on the high ground. Trying to get a concave. But so many roaches are here from Revival. A spine crawler is not going to be enough. Sure, 2-2 is about to finish. But not in time. And there's the GG. Revival takes the 3-1. And he will be advancing on to the global finals in Korea, as well as advancing to the next round of WCS America, taking out Snute 3-1.
What a great performance by EG Zerg. He's been doing absolutely amazing in Zerg versus Zerg. 7 matches he's played in WCS America Premier League. 7 Zerg versus Zergs. Now 5 victories in that matchup, and a 3-1 over Snute is a great win. Seen Snute just recently took out Nesty 2-1, and Nesty's a great ZVZ player. So I mean, Snute's obviously an amazing ZVZ player.
Right.
Revival's saying, you know what? I have no problem with this matchup, taking it 3-1.
You know, it's weird though. It's actually statistically impossible for Revival to play another ZVZ in this tournament.
Yes, because Moonglade just lost.
Yep, and then next up is a PVT between Crank and Alive. So
in fact, Revival's the last Zerg.
Yeah, he's the last Zerg in WCS America. Now, of course, there is the consolation matches where currently Alicia, Snute, and Moonglade are. So that's still coming, of course. The consolation matches are going to be to decide who's going to get that 5th place spot, because we're going to get our top 4. We already have 3, Ryung, Hero, and of course Revival. 4th spot will come from our next match, which is Crank versus Alive, and then we're going to have the 4 players who lost all the round of 8 matches play in a tournament, or play in a, kind of a consolation bracket to determine that 5th spot that's going to be at the global finals in Korea. But Revival playing a fantastic best of 5. I mean, in that game, just going for the mass speedling strategy, and a big idea behind that is denying your opponent's 3rd base, taking map control, and probably the biggest moment there was getting that lean counterattack into his opponent's main.
It was absolutely amazing. You know, one thing Snute's going to do is going to go back, look at that replay, and realize, you know what, maybe if I put the Evo Chambers over a slight notch, I could have had a 1-space entryway, and a Queen could have blocked that run by. But unfortunately, the way his wall was constructed, there's about a 3-space opening. Much more difficult to block those run bys. As something Protoss players have dealt with many times before against Snute. So now Snute almost a taste of his own medicine with those speeding run bys.
He saw and he's like, you know what, that's pretty good. I'm going to try it out. Definitely working out for him. Again, congrats to Revival taking the 3-1. And now we're going to send it to Ben, Mr. Bitter, who's on the floor with Revival for an interview.
Thanks a lot, Axel Toss and Axlav, and congratulations to Revival for taking out Snute there in that round of 8. Revival, the first question I have for you is very simple. How much have you had the chance to practice with Snute, and how did that allow you to prepare for these matches?
일단 지금 이제 4강 진출하신 거 축하하고요. 그리고 얼마만큼 숙소에서 스누트 선수랑 연습을 많이 했고 또 연습 과정에 의해서 본인이 스누트 선수에 대해서 자신감이 더 많이 생겼는지.
이렇게 팀원끼리, 그러니까 같은 EGTL이라서 팀원끼리는 연습을 안 하기로 했어요. 개인적으로 연습하기로 했는데 레더 위주로 준비를 많이 했는데 이길 수 있어서 좋아요.
We live in the same house, play pro league together, but we in a team house we don't practice each other quite a lot. We play mostly ladders in order to not. It's because of you don't have if you play teammates often, then you get used to the same player over and over. So I play more ladders, and I think it came out good results.
So that said, how familiar were you with Snute's style? Did you know much about him, and what did you prepare specifically for Snute?
스누트 선수 뭐 스타일이라든지 아니면 빌드라든지 뭐 이런 부분에 대해서 알고 있었는지 아니면 준비를 그러면 스누트 선수에 대해서 어떻게 해결 방안을 찾았는지 그게 좀 궁금하네요.
딱히 스누트 선수에 대해서 아는 정보가 그렇게 많진 않아서 평소에 연습했던 그 감으로 이렇게 게임을 진행했던 것 같아요. 그 첫 세트부터 두 번째까지 15% 하는 거 보고 그냥 안전하게 계속 할 것 같아서 제가 부유한 빌드로 시작했어요. 많이.
Just played. Don't know really a lot about how Snute plays stance, but I know that I've been playing very safely all the time, and I try to be calm and play just safely until the end of the game. And I knew that Snute went 15 pull for the first and the second game, and I noticed that Snute would like to play like a late games and very safe games, so they try to change my style at the end of the games.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that last game in particular. You played a very cool, upgraded Zergling-centric style, one that we haven't seen a whole lot of in Heart of the Swarm. Can you talk to us about some of the strengths of upgraded Zerglings, and why did you choose to use that build on the final map?
일단 마지막 경기 때 이제 업저글링으로 많이 피해를 주고 이제 경기를 이제 그런 식으로 초반에 많이 이끌고 나가는데, 이 업저글링의 군단의 심장에서 많이 사용이 되진 않았어요. 최근에 본 적이 없는데, 이 업저글링의 장점, 그리고 또 이런 전략을 어떻게 가지고 나왔는지.
아, 저번에 제가 16강에서 스칼렛 선수한테 그 업저글링에 크게 당한 적이 있어요. 그래서 그거를 제가 보고 따라해가지고 준비를 하게 됐어요. 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요. 네, 빌드가. 네, 16강에서.
Yes, I lost a game against Scarlet, which was using speed up and upgraded Zerglings. So I lost that game, so I took that build and I've been practicing it in the house, and I think it really works out really well. So I've been using that quite a lot, and I brought it here and used it against Snute.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations, Revival, on your 3-1 victory. Your next opponent will be either a Protoss player or a Terran player. Who would you prefer to play in your next match?
다음 경기는 이제 최재원 선수 아니면은 한희석 선수랑 하게 될 텐데, 누구랑 하는 게 편해요?
편하다기보다 아무래도 시즌 파이널을 꼭 올라가야 되는 상황이니까 같은 팀원인 이소희가 올라왔으면 좋겠어요.
Nobody's not really comfortable, but if you win from round away, you make it up to the season final. You get a seed to the season final. So I hope Alive wins so that I can be with him in the season final. So I just hope Alive wins.
All right, always cheering for his teammate. Guys, we're going to head into a very short break. We'll be back with a lot more StarCraft 2 from the WCS America Season 1 Finals after this.